So here we're going to have a number of graphs of the Greeks for various options, looking at how they vary under different parameters. So here's call options. We have a strike of 40, so we'll put a line here just to keep in mind that 40 is the strike. So what can we say about delta? The first thing to think about delta is notice that call option deltas are all positive. Single most important thing to understand about call options. Now, when we talk about a call option having a positive delta, we mean if you have a long position in a call option, you have a positive delta. If you're short a call, you're negative delta. If you have a short call, your delta is negative these values. So keep that clear. But the first thing is that the deltas of calls are positive. Secondly, they go from around 0 to around 1. We've seen this before, that when stock prices are very high, the delta is nearly 1. What does that tell us? It tells us that if the stock price is around 60 and I have a strike of 40, pretty much the price of the option changes dollar for dollar with the change in the stock. When you get way out of the money, the deltas go close to 0. In other words, if you have a $20 stock and a $40 strike, if the stock changes to 41, you wouldn't expect the option to have much value. Sorry, if the stock goes from 20 to 21, the option's not going to change value very much. It's too far out of the money. But notice the effect on time. That long options, this one up here is 3 years. Long options have bigger deltas than short options. That's logical because what it's telling us is that they have more time value. That this is a 3-year option, this is a 3-month option. And if I look at stock prices of 30, it's saying a 3-month option has a delta of, 0.05. That means if you were hedging that option, you would need 0.05 shares. Whereas if you were hedging a 3-year option, same strike, same stock price, you would need about a half of a stock. That's logical because the 3-year option has much more time to go into the money and much more time for volatility to bring it into the money. So you need more stock because you have more time to bring it. Whereas if you have a 3-month option and you're $10 out of the money, you don't have a whole lot of chance of that moving into the money. Put options, you'll note, have exactly the same shape. In fact, the only thing that looks like happened is we changed the Y scale. Instead of going from, in the call, delta, we had a 0 down here and a 1 here. And if you look at the shape of these put deltas and the call deltas, you'll find that they look identical. The only thing that changed is the Y-axis. This will be seen later. This is a product of put-call parity, that the relationship between a long put and a long call, there's a constant between the deltas. If I take the call deltas and I drop them by a constant amount, I will get the put deltas. That constant amount depends on the dividend rate and the term of the option. But a lot of what I said earlier still can be seen. I have a strike of 40. That as I go into the money, deep in the money, which is a put at 40 and stock prices are at 25.30, I'm going into the money, I have a delta of nearly -1. In other words, it's almost certain to exercise, and so I need a stock in my replicating portfolio to allow exercise. A short stock. Whereas if I go with a put with a strike of 40 and stock prices are up at 60, that's way out of the money, and you can see the delta is near 0. So it's logical. It's also logical, again, that the long options require more delta. Well, I guess it depends on how we look at it. But in the if we look at the long dated options, here's 3 years. Here's 3 months. The short options have a delta closer to -1 because once they're this deep in the money, it's very unlikely they're going to come out of the money. So you better be short an option. You better be short a stock to cover it. Whereas if you have a 3-year option, even though it's well in the money now, 3 years is a long time, and it can well move out of the money. So for a 3-month option, I might need 95% of a share. For a 3-year option, I only need a half a share.